The Bringing Up Bates fandom was in complete disarray after yet another gender revelation. Erin Paine, who has long been praised for her miraculous pregnancies following severe health problems, recently revealed that she is expecting a boy. Furthermore, not just any thoughts exist on the internet. They are witty, funny, and occasionally brutally honest. Fans didn't hold back when it came to discussing everything from claustrophobic children's rooms to miracle ovary memes, and even rumors of animosity between the Bates sisters. Reddit glowed brightly. Firecracker. And the responses were a veritable goldmine for reality TV. It was more than simply the baby, though. It was about all of its ramifications. Carlin's glaring absence, Josie and Katie's FaceTime moment, Alyssa's eyebrow-raising response, and conjecture about the baby's name. Not to be overlooked are the logistics of the room, because the 2x2 girls' room has allegedly taken on a life of its own in the Paine household, from faintly veiled to overtly sibling-like eyes, and from discussions about parenthood to in-depth analyses of Erin's conception process. This gender reveal wasn't your typical announcement. Every Bates family thread was rekindled by the match. Hold on tight, because we're going to dissect every spicy, sweet, and witty moment that the internet has given us. The announcement itself appeared to be straightforward. Chad and Erin announced they were expecting a boy. However, the tiniest moments turn into massive online discussions in typical Bates family flair. Additionally, with a family, every expose of this magnitude is a ripple in a very crowded pond. Reddit swiftly focused on a single amusing comment that has now gone viral. At least he is not forced to share the room with two girls. Years of fan annoyance with the Bates children, especially the girls, being crammed into small confines while the boys have a little more breathing room is summed up in this comment. In addition to making many admirers chuckle, it sparked a flurry of jokes and discussion regarding the family's domestic life. As one user pointed out, Charles, up until now, the eldest son was in danger of being the lone boy in a sea of sisters. However, the topic of Alyssa Bates soon came up. Viewers instantly clocked her reaction that was captured on tape. "How did that happen?" asked Alyssa. One commenter laughed as they typed. Someone else said, "You can tell she's over Erin's miracle ovary." Erin's well-known reproductive history sparked a whole string of emotions and memes based only on that sentence. Let's discuss that miracle ovary, or the little ovary that could, as Reddit users now lovingly refer to it. Erin's journey during his pregnancy has been nothing short of incredible. Many believed she was past having children after she underwent several procedures and physicians allegedly removed the majority of her ovarian tissue. And yet here she is, declaring yet another pregnancy. Awe and distrust were voiced by some fans. Some even questioned whether additional information about her medical history has been withheld from the public. Erin's fertility, however, is the headline. The sibling relationships were the main attraction. Josie and Katie made the cut during the family's FaceTime celebrations, but Carlin was absent, according to a particularly scathing Reddit comment. Additionally, one person said that Josie and Katie received FaceTime, but Carlin did not, using the emoji that conveys a lot without actually saying anything. It was not long before the theories began to surface. Is it icing out Carlin? Was there a conflict in schedule? Or is this a more profound indication of changing allegiances within the sisterhood of the Bates? Speaking of awkwardness, a number of viewers commented on how forced the entire gender reveal reaction felt. One reviewer said, "Oh my word, they all sound so fake and awkwardly shocked." Others concurred, speculating that either the pressure of maintaining appearances for the camera is wearing thin, or that some of the siblings may be getting tired of Erin's frequent miracle revelations. Then the unavoidable conjecture on the infant's name. Some admirers are speculating that she would include a memorial to her recently deceased grandfather, Papa Bill, as Erin has previously used William for a prior son. Some Redditors suggested Gilvin, either as a tribute to her father Gil, or as a novel mashup of Gil and Kevin. Additionally, it is customary to use names that have strong familial associations. Therefore, it wouldn't be shocking if the announcement of the baby's arrival included a meaningful name. However, in the middle of all the naming, the chamber assignments keep coming up repeatedly. Supporters were relieved that William will now have a roommate who is his own age. One even made the jest that the boy would no longer need the company of his brother, Mr. Carson Charles. In the vast Bates family, Carson and Charles are older male cousins. Because of the sheer number of children, fans frequently make fun of the Bates' propensity to link younger children with older siblings for playmates. A few even ventured into the field of architectural analysis. At least there will be a boys' room and a girls' room that are equally packed, one person stated sardonically, adding that it had earlier appeared like Charles would be the only male in a room full of sisters. Not all of the feedback, however, was sarcastic. One person brought up a delicate subject: Erin's actual medical difficulties. Someone remarked, "I really don't understand how Erin keeps getting pregnant with half an ovary," which sparked a small argument. As some respondents noted, being young and having a high egg count can help compensate for certain health problems. Fans were reminded by others that Erin has been candid about utilizing fertility-boosting hormone medications. However, skepticism persisted, as one commenter succinctly summed up the attitude: "Yes, but how frequently?" Things became a bit more serious as the discussion went on. A number of Redditors started talking about the behavior of the Paine children. The children of Erin and Chad seemed almost too well behaved on the vlog, according to several viewers, standing motionless, being silent, and displaying what some have referred to as robotic civility. Some were really uneasy, while others applauded the discipline. "My kids have a lot of structure and rules behind the scenes, but they're also allowed to be kids and let their personalities shine," one reviewer commented. "It's a little depressing that the Paine kids appear to have learnt to conform." This remark led to an intense debate. Was this simply good parenting, or did the Bates family's strict, ultra-conservative rules come through childhood? Are they well behaved or just in a religious cult? Said one person bluntly. That remark elicited both support and criticism, highlighting the gap in the audience between ardent admirers and those who have begun to question the family's principles. Nevertheless, humor kept the thread going despite the criticisms. A user swiftly responded, "Blessed be the Fruit Loops," to one of the most popular comments, "Praise be," which served as the last flourish. A playful remark that contains a running joke that alludes to religion and the family's frequently excessively wholesome portrayal. It was noted that Erin made a point of including Josie and Katie in a FaceTime session, but not Carlin, as rumors about his absence grew. The formerly close-knit group of Bates sisters may be moving apart, according to a rising Reddit idea. Some people think that Carlin's increasingly independent lifestyle and changing opinions may be the cause of the recent friction, particularly in contrast to Erin's extremely regimented home life and more conventional attitude. Little things like these spark big fan theories in a family that values unity and public image. And a user left this gem right as the comments were starting to fade. Chad is probably the happiest. It is assumed that Chad's household will be noisier and more active with another son, one with gender dynamics that are possibly a bit more balanced. There are now more boys in Erin's household, at least in comparison to which has been ruled by daughters for a long time. The topic of conversation then veered to Erin and Chad's parenting style. One Redditor made a startling discovery. The children's excellent behavior is what caught my attention the most in this video. The remark went on to compare Erin's kids to their own, pointing out how energetic and erratic most toddlers are while also expressing amazement at how the suffering kids stood motionless, silent, and grinning on cue. However, what started out as praise swiftly changed into worry. The statement concluded, "It appears that conformity is the primary lesson that the Paine kids have learned." Many viewers found resonance in that sentiment. While some view it as a sign of strict expectations, others regard it as disciplined parenting. Even the difference between politeness and oddity was brought up by one commenter, who implied that personal expression can be sacrificed for external compliance. Viewers are becoming increasingly concerned that the children are being brought up more for the camera than for the real world. An additional user asked, "Are they well behaved or just in a religious cult?" Although it was a direct declaration, others who have watched the Bates family for years and seen the regimented, rule-heavy atmosphere in which their kids are raised nodded. Even conversations about something as trivial as a cereal bowl, such as the line "Blessed be the Fruit Loops," demonstrate how viewers alternate between sincere worry and scathing irony while talking about this family. The audience isn't only responding to the news of Erin's baby. Moment by moment, they are breaking down the whole ecology of her family's values and decisions. Light-hearted guessing was still allowed in the midst of all the serious conversation. Baby names continued to be popular. In observance with family tradition, some fans speculated that Erin would eventually adopt Gilvin, or another name associated with her father, Gil. Some made light-hearted wishes that she would not utilize Carson Charles once more. A humorous mashup that alludes to the fact that some names in the extended family have begun to seem too similar or mixed together. The fact that many of the Bates children have conventional, frequently biblical names was brought out by another admirer. However, there is also a propensity for strange combinations, nicknames that develop into complete names, or children named after multiple family members. At this point, the excitement over Erin's baby name is half sincere interest and half ongoing joke. Will it be another head-scratcher or will it be nice and safe? Fans made sure to bring out Erin's physical condition amid all of this discussion. Knowledgeable. One commenter pointed out that she had previously stated that she was undergoing hormonal treatment, which is probably what is assisting her in sustaining multiple pregnancies. It was one of the rare times during the conversation when people took the time to recognize that Erin's journey hasn't been simple, regardless of their thoughts on her decisions or family dynamics. And most pregnancies are difficult. However, some questioned the long-term consequences. Every time she made an announcement, she stated the same thing, and people were furious. However, how often? This comment expressed a rising sense of exhaustion, perhaps even among family members as well as viewers. Is there a cap on the frequency of unqualified joy of miracle baby news? Additionally, the discussion expanded to include the larger Bates family structure. The way that different siblings are raising their children was brought up by fans. For example, in her vlogs, Carlin's children are more obviously noisy, unruly, and fun than Erin's family, which seems incredibly orderly and structured. The difference between debates concerning natural childhood behavior, healthy parenting, and what goes beyond theatrical family life were triggered by homes. Then there was a change toward one of Erin's sons, Charles, who had been the only boy amid a number of sisters. Supporters joked that Charles would no longer have to put up with the mayhem of toddler sisters taking over the room, expressing joy that he would finally have a sibling who was more in line with his age and gender. Toddlers get to share William's room. Poor child. A user's post about the overcrowded room circumstances that are so prevalent in Bates' household sparked a number of responses. Some admirers even went so far as to say that the Bates children should be given more room, or at the absolute least, rooms that are separated by age rather than gender. However, the Bates' deeply held beliefs about gender-based roles, simplicity, and unity frequently clash with those concepts. Finally, amid the room arrangement ideas, Carlin FaceTime conspiracies, and names, there was a comment that summed up the tumultuous happiness of our fandom. Charles seems like a kind, sweet child, and I have nothing against him. But it's time for him to experience what those 4 females have enjoyed all of their lives. One thing is certain despite Reddit's humor, criticism, and conjecture. The Bates family is skilled at generating conversation. Every baby reveal, every sister's look, and every Miss FaceTime conversation, whether on purpose or not, ignites a flurry of comments. Whether she likes it or not, Erin has become the focal point of these significant family events. If history is any indication, this baby reveal is only the beginning, so stay tuned. The name, the delivery, the room arrangement, the coordinated outfits, the Instagram picture that goes with it, and of course, the next round of comments about how she manages to do this are all still there, ready to flood the internet. Another round of name guessing, arguments about miracle ovaries, and sisterly side-eyes is coming with the arrival of another son. Alyssa appeared astonished. Carlin might have been overlooked. And the 2x2 girls' room simply exhaled with relief. Erin's gender announcement was far from silent, as seen by Reddit roasts and FaceTime favorites. What are your thoughts? Was Alyssa's response appropriate? Will Carlin say something? What is the baby's name going to be? Leave your best opinion in the comments section. Press the like button. For more crazy family moments, subscribe. To ensure you don't miss the next Bates bombshell, remember to ring the bell. See you at the following one.